Hello guys, you're welcome to AOK Tally Masterclass. Today we want to look at how to create a company in Tally. So before we start, let's learn a thing or two about the interface of Tally. So when you open your Tally for the first time, this is how it will look like. We have the top part. If you are using this version of Tally, this is the topmost part, which is your title area, and it has some information. It tells you the type of Tally you are using. Currently you can see I have Tally Gold multi-user, and it gives you the version number and some other information up there. Your Tally logo will be up there as well. Okay, all right, now let's come to the middle part of the interface. If you come to the middle part, it is divided into two main parts. We have the right hand side and then we have the left hand side. The two put together is our main area. Okay, now on the right hand side of your main area, it displays information regarding the company. So it's called company info. And the company info, if you want to create a company, that is where you go to create a company. If you had already created a company, this is where you go to select a company. Now when you go to the left side of the main area, you realize we have a list of selected companies. So after we create a company, we realize that the name of that company will be over here. Okay, up there too we can see the current period and then the current date. The current period talks about the 12-month duration that you are working with. So after you create a company, that 12-month duration will be showing up here. The current date has to do with the date within a particular transaction or within a specific day that you are in Tally. Okay, now let's go to the right hand side corner. We can see this vertical bar that is on our right hand side where my cursor is currently moving. That is our button bar. And as we move further, you realize that there will be a number of shortcuts that will be seen on this button. Anytime you want quick access to a particular task, that is where you go and then you click. You can see that currently we have F1 denoting select company. So assuming you want to select a company, I can just navigate to this particular button and click, and it will give me the option to select a company after I have created a company. Okay, now let's go to the bottom part of our interface. Now you can see that when you come down here, when I click on the calculator, it is active. It is called the calculator area. If you want to activate your calculator area, you press your Control and N. So Control plus N is our calculator area. If you want to do any arithmetical calculations whilst we are working in Tally, this is where you go to do so. Now after you are done doing your calculation, if you want to go back to the main area, you can activate the main area by just clicking Ctrl M on your keyboard, or just clicking the main area and your main area will be active. Okay, so now that we know a bit about the interface and what each of these interfaces are meant for, we can move on to create a company. Okay, so when you open Tally for the first time and you hadn't created any company, this is how it will look like. Okay, so now let's try to create our company. But before we do, we are going to consider a case study where we've been given details of a particular company, and then we'll see how to create using those details. Okay, so let's go to our question or our case study and see how to go by that. All right, so we go to our case study and then we see how to handle that. Now if you look at our case study 1, we are going to create this company. Okay, read the following information about Sika Emoja. This is a Ghanaian company. Okay, Sika Emoja carefully and then record the transactions in 8 books. In our subsequent videos we will do how to record transactions. Before then we will learn how to create ledgers, but today our main focus is how to create a company. Okay, so now when we come down here, we have some other information that will help us create a company. create a company for Sky Emuja Limited with PO Box 111 as the address, and then the book beginning period is given as 1st January 2017, and then the currency is Ghana cedis because this is a Ghanaian company, and they've given us a password which is going to be 4 zeros, and then use your name as the administrator. Okay, so let's go back to our Tally and see how we're going to record this. Okay, so whilst I'm back on Tally, you can see we have some red keys. If you look at select company, the red key is S. Create company, the red key is C, and so on. Now what it means is, if I want to create a company, instead of navigating to click on create company, I can just click on the hot key, which is the red one. So I'll click on letter C on my keyboard and will give me the option to create a company. Now this is our company creation screen. Now let's talk about each of the items here so you understand what they are meant for. So let me start from the directory. The directory, as you can see, is the location or the path where your data, the company you are creating, the data will be saved. Okay, you can decide to leave it on drive C, or if you have any other location where you want to specify, you can just go back and type it, or go into your system and type that particular location. But by default, as soon as you try to create a new company, it will try to save it on drive C. So let's not do any changes for now and move on. Now, what is the name of the company? We are creating a company called Sika Emuja Limited. Okay, that will be the name. The mailing name obviously will be the same as the name of the company. The address was given as PO Box 111. Then when we come to statutory compliance, if we look through the list of countries, we don't see Ghana as part of those countries. So let's pick none, because if you pick any of these countries like India, Indonesia, or UK, or any of them, it means that the law regarding tax and other statutories will be applicable. However, Ghana is not in there, so let's pick none, so we do not have any confusion with regard to the statutory compliance. Okay, all right, let's move on. We were not given the email, but if you have the email address, you have to put it here. Let's move on to our currency symbol. When we go to our currency symbol, because this is a Ghanaian company, we will give it this currency symbol. Then under maintain, we will choose account with inventory, simply because we want to be able to keep track of our inventory as well as our accounts, keeping track of the monies involved in all transactions, and also our inventory. If we do not choose this and we choose only accounts, we can't keep track of our inventory. So it's advisable you choose account with inventory. Okay, now we go to the financial year. According to the question, we're given the book beginning period as 1st January 2017. So we will use the same thing as our financial year, but you should understand that your financial year is the 12-month duration that you are working in. So if you start your operation from January, then you're going to end it in 31st December. Okay, but the book beginning period is the exact day or time that you're starting operation. Okay, all right, let's proceed. So normally your financial period and your book beginning period will be the same, unless you didn't start exactly on the same date as your financial year, then you would have changed the book beginning period. Okay, so let's go to Tally Vault password. Tally Vault password will hide the identity of your company, so it will prevent unauthorized people from accessing your company. When we go to select a company, you would understand. Okay, so let's put a Tally Vault password. Let's just give it a password. Okay, now after giving it a password, we move on to security control. Now before we move on to security control, let's talk about Tally Vault password once again. if you forget your Tally Vault password, you cannot go into the created company. So you have to be sure of the password you are given under the Vault password, because the Vault password is the first thing that will be asked for you to go into the company. Okay, now let's go to the security control. Now in your security control, one person must have control over every single activity that will happen in Tally, and that's the administrator. So if you want these features to be activated, then you say yes. Now when you say yes, you need to put the name of the administrator. So let's give it Steven as the administrator. We need to input administrator password as well, so let's give an administrator password. And now let's go to Tally audit feature. Now Tally audit feature will actually trace any changes that are made in the system. So for example, if your salesperson records sales of 1,000 and changes it from 1,000 to 100, your Tally audit feature will be able to track the two figures and know initially there was 1,000 recorded and it was changed to 100. You get it? It's basically made for the administrator or the manager or the internal auditor or probably the external auditor. So we say yes, so that we'll be able to track that. Now when we come to our base currency information, by default the initial symbol up there will pop up, so we leave it. By the former name we need to change it because this is Ghana cedis, so we change it to Ghana cedis. Number of decimal place normally is 2. A symbol suffix to amount, we say no because our symbol is prefix to amount. Our symbol comes before the amount, so let's say no here. The decimal portion is pesos in Ghana, so we type pesos. Show amount in million, yes, we want to show amount in million, and then we save and we save it. And you see that after you save, the first thing they are asking you right away is your Vault password. So we need to type our Vault password. If you forget your Vault password, you can't go into it. Now we need to type our administrator name and administrator password. Okay, so now that we've been able to do this, Tally will take some few minutes to load into our company. So whilst we wait for Tally to load into our company, let's learn something about company. In Tally, when we talk about company, we are just referring to any entity for which an independent set of accounts is maintained. Any entity at all that you can maintain an account for. So we can create as many companies as we want in Tally. And it's just like on your laptop, you can create folders. Okay, anytime you need to work in a particular folder or you need something from a folder, you go into that particular folder and then you open it and then you work in it. That's how the company creation is in Tally. So currently you can see that under list of selected companies, Sika Emoja is the active company or the selected company, and you can see that this company is bold. Bold simply means it's a bit black. Okay, so it tells you this is the company that is active. So any entry or leisure or any other thing that we do in this company will be affected. Sika Emojis Limited will be affected. Now when you look at your current period, you can see that it is reading 1st January 2017 to 31st December 2017, giving you a 12-month duration. And as at the time of the record, this is the date that is giving you. That's the current date in the order. Then when you come here, date of last entry, we've not recorded any voucher, so it is showing no voucher entry. In our subsequent videos, we will do how to record vouchers. Okay.